Hey, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Morning Steam for Tuesday. We're in October. Mr. October. That's me, Ramon Scott, with Mindy Hahn, my co-host, the Midwest Premier Sports Handicapper, coming off Monday Night Football. I think things went pretty well. Getting ready for next to last day of baseball season. We'll preview the 35 game baseball card, and there were 17 doubleheaders, so be ready for that. We'll also take a look at the early college football action, including that makeup game they've been waiting to play for a couple of days now, and also Fridays action, and also Saturday, the first part of the card on Saturday. Mindy will get me straight on what day it's going to be,
but right, it's going to be pretty hectic here over the next couple days. But we only got a couple more days, or maybe just one more day of baseball regular season, and so then things might lighten up a little bit for us.
Yeah, and there's a few storylines still out there, and a few little bit of jostling still going in those chases. We know, so we'll see how it shakes out over the final 2 days. But obviously, right now, got to consider the playoffs teams. We know they're set, so just a little bit of fine tuning. We're ready to go for the opening of the playoffs on Friday, and we'll be done with the major league season. But we're still on Judge watch. We still got a few things to be determined. But last night, Mindy, Monday Night Football, I think the game went according to plan as far as the handicap was concerned here on our show. What did you think about it? And did you? Well, I had a premium on the under in the game.
And I did as well, had an under on the premium for the game. And so that's why we went with the sides for our free pick here on the show. And again, this is why we do this. It was, for me, a little bit of uncertainty on, which of those sides. I went with the Rams. Ramon got the better of me on that one. I think it was just an overwhelmingly lopsided victory with that number 3 defense for the 49ers. They looked pretty darn good. And there wasn't a whole lot of offense here for the 49ers, but they did make plays when they needed to. That pick 6, the big 53-yarder by Deebo Samuel. So, they made plays when they needed to. But to me, the story in that game was the defense of that 49ers team and sacking Matt Stafford a lot.
Yeah, something's wrong, certainly with Stafford. Also, the weapons aren't there. We had to use Cooper Kupp so much in the game that he had that career high performance. Right. So I think that I think that's something that stood out, certainly, that they had to use him so much in that game. But Deebo was Deebo. He gives them a little bit of a wild card look. Nothing special, right, with Jimmy G. Other than if G stands for game manager,
right?
He get it done. He got Deebo the ball. That's all he had to do. I thought they opened up a little bit more offensively than his first game. So maybe he'll continue to progress. Again, I'm always on Jimmy G's side because he continues to make us money and he's doing it again. So right. I don't know what we're looking for as far as our quarterbacks are concerned, but we do want to win. We all can't have Tom, and we can't have Patrick, or Aaron, right? So we got to go with what we got, especially when our starter went out. So the Niners, though, I don't know if they were 2-2 and the Rams are 2-2. Sounds like because of that defense. Do you want to finish up our conversation from yesterday, and do you put the Niners ahead of the rest of the West and maybe up there with some of those 3-1 teams?
I would say yes. I still am under the belief that defenses win championships. And if they can keep that up throughout the season, I think they will be able to produce enough offensively to get it done. It hurt them having, some injuries. And I think with Kittle being back healthy, they'll be able to open that up as well. I think they're going to be able to do enough. There was a lot of still mistakes on both sides, drop balls, but scheming wasn't quite right, things like that. And again, that's what even the Rams were kind of saying afterwards. We're going to take a look at this after the fact and see a lot of mistakes where they were made. But I like where the 49ers are headed, even though offensively they may be struggling. That will come with time.
Yeah, Kittle's not effective right now. He's not being used really, so that's a fair point. He's a major weapon, and right now he's just not the player that he is used to
Yeah,
being.
it's his first game, right? Yeah.
So just a decoy out there last night for the most part, and had to rely on Debo, and that's okay. I mean,
Man, he's
this
fast.
guy, yeah, they talked about the dynamics of the lining him up wherever he does, or the type of player he is, and everybody would like to have a player like him. So right now, the Niners, yeah, they get it done in that one. So let's take a look though at our website, Tony'sPicks.com, where you'll find our premium picks each and every day. And well, I just had the one win. I'm not on there, but I maybe the
Yeah,
result
it's just,
was
in
five
order of
spots.
appearance there,
But Paul, we'll mention Paul there with his 3-0 performance because I'll just mention it right now to promote the site a little bit because it's Tuesday, so there will be Champions League action here in just about 6 hours. Actually, in 3 hours, a couple of games go off. So if you'll pardon me for a moment, Mindy, while I talk a little international soccer, there's an 8-game card in the Champions League, and Paul has his videos up. If you check out yesterday's show with Tony, Soccer Picks Daily, and you're looking for some picks on the card, he's got 5 games that he went over. So, plenty of action from the crew here at Tony's Picks. He's got picks on 5 of the games. And guess what, Mindy? I'm going to give you one at the end of the show as
all
well
right.
that Paul didn't have on his card. But I say 5 games, but I believe if you go through the videos or watch them individually, there'll be 8 total plays from Paul. Maybe he's incorporating them into parlays, but you certainly can break them down however you want. So good day for Paul there. He's been crushing the soccer a little bit. Mindy, tell me about your day. I know you had some first fives in there as well yesterday as part of your 3-1 day, and you continue to be hot here over the last 7 days. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, still plugging away here with Major League Baseball. Had the Blue Jays. They came through for me on the money line. I lost with the Brewers on the first 5. I thought they'd be able to come through. Missed that one by a run. And then also had my favorite team, those Angels, with Sandoval. He got the win for me in the first 5 there as well. And then, like we had showed, was on the under for the National Football League game.
Yeah, it didn't really ever seem to be in question. Even the first drive, even though it was they got points out of it. They took up first half of the quarter. They took more than half the quarter off the clock on that first drive of the game. So that was looking pretty solid all the way. Really, never too much in question in that one. So yeah, the Brewers. That was one of the games of the day. Certainly turned out to be one of the games of the day. Certainly with the come from behind. A lot of blow-ups. Everybody take note. A lot of blow-ups in the
On those big money
bullpens
line folks,
yesterday
yeah.
all over the league. And Mindy already plays a lot of first fives, Mindy, but might be a sound strategy for everybody if they're just handicapping, especially with starters. I mean, these bullpens right now, yes, some of them are solid, so maybe we'll roll. We'll talk about some bullpens when we get into the handicaps today, but there were bullpen blowups, at least I want to say 5 of them yesterday. The Padre game was 0-0 in the 8th inning and ended up being an over. So a couple things like that happened throughout the league yesterday. And yeah, we had some good picks as well, Mindy, on the show. I want to note, that we had the White Sox on the under on the show yesterday. We had Philadelphia in the under on the show yesterday. So did pretty well. We won with our premium play on the morning steam with over in Kansas City and Cleveland. Now the record will reflect that the morning steam team, we'll take a look at it, that the grading was incorrect. The game did not go 9 innings with Toronto and Baltimore. We had the over. We would have been headed for a defeat unless we had a blow up, but it does reflect on the record that we lost it. But most people, if you played our game will get no grade on that. Otherwise, switch sports books. So I thought we had some.
And then we also had given out the Pirates on the run line as well. There wasn't a line for us in order to get that in time for the morning steam. So we only put out 2 individual plays. Otherwise, that would have been a 3-pack. But for those of you that, watched the show and got that in, that was another winner there as well.
All right. And so we also, and Mindy, pretty good day overall, I thought, on the show. Not too shabby. So we'll handicap Major League Baseball. But so take a look. Go to the All Cappers tab. Get signed up. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. Like I said, check out the.
And you can click in the morning steam right there, and then you can check out all of our plays.
Yeah. Some question there's in the chat. Where do you list your records? And here's where we do list our records, right here on Tony'sPicks.com. You can see all of our plays, morning steam team. These are the games that Mindy and I agree on. You can click through each and every page, find every single game documented. That's why we're here. That's why we joined the team at Tony's Picks. There are a gazillion Twitter handicappers out there, but to go on the record and get your picks graded by a third-party resource like we do, we put our reputations on the line every day. And there you see, light action, I'd call it yesterday, but certainly there's my winner. Certainly a set of winners. All I went with was the total yesterday in the football game. You see the boss also, I believe he had the Niners as his pick, and Tiffany also with a winner, Daniel with a winner, Mindy. So he'll hook up with us over at Tony'sPicks.com. Catch our premium plays each and every day. Certainly going to be a busy time, like you said, coming up with basketball and hockey getting rolling as well. So, all right, Mindy, maybe we'll start handicapping some games. We've got a lot of games to cover here and not a lot of time to do it. And let's
rapid fire morning steam show.
Get into the rapid fire, mostly on baseball. As rapid as we can do it might be okay by me, just because, a lot of these games, high volatility, folks. If you're a gambler, it's fine. We're going to look at each and every game. We have no problem. If you want to bet today, Major League Baseball, I might find some premiums out there as well. But again, you just saw what was going on yesterday, I think, with some of the bullpens. Things are getting a little sketchy.
And those Angels, right, gave it up.
And we've got 3 doubleheaders today. So you kind of wonder about how the teams are going to approach them. Very tough handicap, no doubt about it today. Tread lightly. And let's get into it. All right, the New York Yankees and the Texas Rangers will be playing one of the doubleheaders. We do know this matchup looks pretty solid in Game 1 at 2:05 Eastern, 11:05 Pacific, with Jamison Tyone and Gray going for the Rangers. Tyone on the road here. This maybe will be an important doubleheader. Talk about the Judge watch right now. Certainly the priorities are there for New York to play, maybe their best lineup to get this player his record. And I think we saw Texas's motivation as well yesterday. So there's definitely a handicap here to be had.
Yeah, I mean, Tyone, he's given up, he's up to 7 quality starts here in his last 12 outings since the All-Star break. 3.84 ERA. Rangers are losers the last 12 of 15. Not really able to put runs on the board. And it kind of even looks a little bit more grim here with, Howard or Gray, whoever's kind of going to get into this game, I think. I thought the Rangers might have been interested to play ball here yesterday. That's why I kind of went with them on the run line. They stayed in there, hung in there for quite a while. But just didn't really have it in them. I don't really expect too much here the rest of the series. I'm going to go with the Yankees here on the run line.
All right, Mindy's going to give you the run line in this one. I think it's pretty close to the best for me. I think that, like I said, the Yankees are going to come in, I think, a doubleheader. So, I think, they'll try to get your guys as many at bats as you can. The only way you're going to do that is to score runs. I think that's the the way you have to look at the Yankees' outlook in this game. They probably are a little bit overpriced in the game. I still kind of like the Rangers to a certain extent, but you have the Yankees have now gone under in 6 of their last 8. The Rangers have gone under in 17 of their last 22 games as an underdog. Yankees do continue to dominate this series. I'd prefer if it was 7.5, but I'm going to go under 7 runs today in game 1 with Texas hosting the Yankees. All right. Washington and the Mets. I'm going to tie these 2 games together. I mean, we don't know a whole lot about this one. I'm showing we know the pitchers for game 2, at least what I'm seeing from the line services. And so I believe that this is the matchup that they will come with in game 1. Now, this is just kind of a reflection of yesterday's line, although I have seen some numbers that do show Carrasco maybe down now to about 275. We talked about the game yesterday. I don't know. Were we talking about a $3 favorite yesterday for Carrasco?
Yeah, it was like 325, I think.
Okay, I'll go. I don't know. I guess we could just run your video from yesterday, but maybe you want to just tell us again about Carrasco and Abbott.
Yeah, well, yesterday, we were kind of unsure with where, the Mets were going to go in this. They haven't really been doing much on the run line here as of late. So kind of didn't really feel comfortable. I think we were up to plus 2.5 here on Washington. I think I'm gonna change my mind a little bit with where this one is heading, though. And even though this is like a must win here for the Mets, I mean, they have to hope they win them all and the Braves lose them all. I think I'm still gonna kind of look for the under 7.5 here in this one. The more I look at it.
Yeah, that's the way I looked yesterday. I probably would agree with you to a certain extent. That's the way I looked at it yesterday when I broke down the video. And I have concerns today, with the doubleheader. So, I think that is a pretty fair line right now, 7.5, and what I said yesterday. So I think I could agree with you. But I also think the Mets. Look, I mean, they still are in this situation. It's
right.
It's an issue. It's an issue. I mean, all the talking heads are talking about, what went wrong, what's gone on, right? So they better win this one. They better win this one big. I'll take the Mets on the run line today in game 1.
Game 1.
Yeah, we think, again, this line's not officially posted, but game 2 is posted at most of the sports books. And you have Taiwan Walker about a 265 favorite, and the total 7/25.
Yeah, again, I feel like, we're in like this, constant repeat loop with these 2 teams here. We keep talking about this over and over again. Nationals are 3-7, but can we trust these Mets to just go ahead and put them away? Espino, he's 0-8 this season, 4.30 ERA. The bullpen's giving up 5.41 ERA, 4 runs, per outing. I think I'm gonna kind of side with you, Ramon. I think Mets are in this must-win situation. It's a really good spot for them. I'm not going to take the run line. I would just take them on the money line, put that in a money line parlay if you choose. I'm going to take the Mets here on the money line minus 265.
All right. Well, by the end of this one, I think we may end up seeing some runs. I'll look to go over in this one. Walker's gone over in 8 of his last 12 starts. The Mets have gone over in 19 of their last 28 games, and now I'm getting at least a juiced up 7 in this game. So I'll go over as my pick in game 2 with Washington and the Mets. Probably still keep an eye on the doubleheader, no doubt about it. Okay, next we're going to move. This is game 1 now at 6:10 Eastern, 3:10 Pacific. Boy, they're really squeezing this one in, but it's in Seattle, so that's just a late afternoon start. And right now I'm showing Rodriguez and Flexen. Looks like he's back. Originally it was Rodriguez and Gonzalez, so maybe it's going to be I'm guessing Hill and Gonzalez in game two. Game two, I'm not seeing listed yet at the major sports books. So I don't know if you've broken down this doubleheader, Mindy, or have any opinion of this doubleheader. A lot less on the line, certainly, with Seattle in the game, but they're still battling a little bit there with Tampa Bay for the right to either face Toronto on the road or Cleveland on the road. Right now it's Seattle at Toronto, Tampa Bay at Cleveland, as far as the playoff picture is concerned.
Yeah, so originally I had Rodriguez versus Gonzalez for game one, and then Hill versus Flexen for game two is what I had originally. So they kind of flipped Flexen, it looks like, in place, perhaps.
We know Flexen's been off for a good month or so, right?
Yeah. But like I said, he's been, I think, more in like a relief
role, yeah.
Yeah.
Not on the DL, or I'm not on the IL, but not starting.
Yeah, because he's like 12-9, 3.48 ERA. He's looked good, I think, for the most part. And then we have Rodriguez. He was 5-4, 4.02 ERA for the Tigers. He's been better of late, 2-1, 3.77 ERA in his last 5 starts. But I just think here that the Tigers, I had them at 20 and 22 versus lefties. I like the Mariners. I think I'm going to go ahead and probably take the Mariners in both of these games today.
Okay. Yeah, we can. I'll bring up the other game too right away. We'll just knock out the doubleheader. Like I said, I'm not able to find a line necessarily on game two at this point, so we will see on that. But as far as this one with Rodriguez and Gonzalez with two left-handers going, I'll probably look to go under here in this one. In game one, anyway. I don't know if game two, maybe they can put up some runs. Yeah, I'm showing undecided still, according to the line services, on game two. So I'll bring it up and show maybe what the potential matchup there is. But we know Seattle home games have been a pretty solid under right now. They've gone under in 40 of their last 60 at home. So I'll look to go under in this one. Flexen, and when he started, he's gone 8-13 to the under this season. And you do have Detroit still, for all it's worth, one of the better bullpens right now of late with a 1.73 ERA over the last 10 games. So in game one, I'll go under. And I'll bring up maybe, I don't know, might be a hypothetical matchup for game two. We'll see. Maybe it'll be, bullpen situation. With these two pitchers, it very well could be just a swap, and books just aren't ready to post just yet. So, you said take Seattle in that one, and I'll just take a pass at this point with that game. All right. Let me find where we're at. All right, we can resume right now, I think, with this one. This will be Kansas City and Lynch with going up against Cleveland and Quantrill. Quantrill means winning in French, I think. I don't know. But he's $1.75. He has a great winning, a lot of wins with Cleveland, not just his own, but the team wins when Quantrill pitches. He's minus $1.75. And the total 7 over 20, and going up 7 over 25 now. Might even get 7.5. I'm thinking.
I mean, it's just crazy that Quantrill's never lost at home in 43 career games, and he's also 5-0 versus these Royals. Then you have Lynch. He's 4-12. He's still looking for his first victory since August. The Royals have a decent lineup, but I don't look for them to get much done here today. I'm going to take those Guardians on the money line, minus 175.
Yeah, that's pretty high price considering where we're at here in this. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's a discount. I don't know. I mean, Cleveland's going to the playoffs, and Kansas City. Well, if you look at the overall standings, I mean, they could only, finish higher than the A's this year. I don't know. Mindy, I think even for the Royals, with their low expectations this year, they've got to
It's
feel
still
like it
pretty
was a
low.
disappointment because you don't want
Right.
to finish next to last ever. So, yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, I don't even, might even be a premium if it wasn't if it was anything, anything less than $1.75. I'd probably give it out as a premium, but I'll play them with you. Let's go. Let's go consensus play. What are we talking about?
Hooray!
That's what
Consensus
we're gonna
play.
do. Jeez, what am I thinking? I'll lay $1.75 with Quantrill. He hasn't lost in
43 games. There's my
serious. Oh my.
dyslexia shining through.
All right, looks like there's been a pitching change here as well. Flaherty was on the. I saw the name. I saw Flaherty listed, but now it may be the books are listing Dakota Hudson, and they're listing him as a favorite on the road here. Probably only about $1.15 now, and I am showing the over under at 7.5 over 20.
Yeah, I mean, I even had like Bryce Wilson in there, so that's how much it's changed throughout the evening. I just think it's going to be like, a couple storylines in this one, right? Who's going to play, the Phillies, and are the Pirates going to be the worst team in Major League Baseball? I mean, I just think that's kind of what's, going on here today. It's pretty hard for me to make a play when I don't really know who's there, who's pitching, who's doing anything. So yeah, I think I'll take a pass here on this one as
Okay.
well.
All right. Well, I'll take St. Louis here minus $1.15. I think that seems like a pretty decent price. I like to see Dakota Hudson out there, and that seems like a pretty reasonable price for me. I think St. Louis, they still are on their farewell tour and everything. They'll get
Yeah,
close
right.
to the season, so. Yeah, I'm going to end up taking St. Louis here at a very reasonable price, and Mindy will take a pass. We'll give her a passy on that one. Probably should pass a lot more than we are, considering that this is a pre-pick rapid fire. So let's give out more picks, and let's look at Atlanta and Miami. Atlanta, pretty big favorite here. We know the situation, but look what happened yesterday, and let's see what happens today. Odorizzi and Garrett in this one, and see if the lines moved at all. $1.60, 7.5 over 25 looks right on to me.
Yep, Braves have the slim 2-game lead, so I think they want to try to stay on top of those Mets, or at least I would think they would. They had a pretty poor outing. Kind of look for probably a rebound, situation here. Braves bullpen. I mean, I think they're fully capable of beating, Braxton Garrett on the mound here today. Braxton, he's 3-6, 3.56 ERA. Marlins giving up 4.2 runs per game. Go Astros.
You on the Braves, you said, huh?
Oh, why did I say Astros?
Because
Braves.
A.
Because they start with an A. Go
Yeah, I'm worried.
Atlanta Braves.
I'm worried about it. I probably will end up finding a way to get to Miami. I'm thinking in this game, I want to take Miami. I might consider them on the run line. I'll do that so we can both win. I'll take Miami plus a run and a half at minus $1.20 in this one. Odorizzi been pretty weak, 7 ERA in his last 5 starts. Meanwhile, Garrett 2.18 ERA in his last 4 starts. Garrett the much better pitcher right now, and maybe the Braves are having their little bit of fade here in the last 3 days of the season. I'll take Miami in this one. All right, the Cubs and Assad, he's been pitching pretty well. Cincinnati and Sessa in this one. And it looks like we have the Reds as a slight favorite, $1.10 total. 8.5 over 20 now. This is the highest total on the board today.
Yeah, and it's one of those, with Assad on the mound for the Cubs, it's one of those I feel like I don't ever have anything bad to say about the guy. He just put up another 5 shutdown innings in his last start. But he has lost to the Reds in his only other start, this season versus them. Cubs are 8-2 in their last 10 road starts, of course. Just kind of blew their win streak there yesterday. Sessa, though, he's given up 7 runs in his last 13 innings versus the Cubs. And he's the Reds are actually 2-8 in their last 10 games. Cubs are hot. Just give me the Cubs here in this one.
Yeah, these are two guys that didn't pitch well in back-to-back games when those games happened in early September. It was Assad that gave up the 4 runs in 5 1/3 innings that you mentioned on September the 7th, and then the next day, Sessa, no, he was a lot better actually. He gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings, so he was better there. But I'm going to trust the move here. I mean, if I've got the highest total of the day, it's got to be the highest total for a reason. It's in Cincinnati. I'm going to go over in this one. And you took the Cubs out?
Yep.
And I'll take the over, even though it's 8.5, highest total of the day. Going over.
Go get it, Ramon.
Toronto and Baltimore with White going for Toronto against Baltimore and Bauman. Bauman here is a slight favorite at $1.15, 7.5 under 25.
Yeah, so I guess it seems the Blue Jays secured the top wild card spot with those Mariners losing yesterday, I believe. Toronto's won 7 of its last 9 games, not allowed any more than 3 runs in any of those wins. Orioles have been going basically total opposite direction. I don't know. I kind of feel like there was some major implosion here, losing 7 of its last 10 games. Mitch White on the mound, he hasn't been great. 1-6, 5.21 ERA. He gave up 5 runs in 2 innings his last outing. Bauman on the hill for the Orioles. He's 1-3. Also hasn't been, particularly great. 4-3 ERA, 0-1 versus the Blue Jays with an 8.10 ERA. It's one of those like we said last night, we had the over in this one. I'm going to take another shot at it here again today. Take the over 7.5. Looking for those Orioles to finish strong. I mean, not the Orioles, but yes, the Orioles to finish strong at home, taking the over.
Yeah, it's been a good season. Like we said, maybe the Orioles have faded a little bit, but Toronto, like I said, they'll host either Seattle or Tampa Bay in that order right now. Looks like Seattle. We'll see what happens, but over looks like a pretty popular play in that game today. And I'm going to take Baltimore in the game with Bauman because White has been pretty bad. 10 ERA, almost 11 ERA in his last 5 starts. Bauman been a little bit more solid. 4.85 ERA in his starts so far. So, didn't look good against Toronto, but I think Baltimore has some motivation to have a nice home stand here against a playoff team. I'll take Baltimore in this one against Toronto. All right, Tampa Bay, we talked about. They have an important game going up against Boston. They'll go with Springs against Eovaldi. Springs is the favorite here, $1.15, 7.5 under 15.
Yeah, Springs on the mound for the Rays, coming into the game with a nice record, 9-4, 2.45 ERA. But Springs, he's just really, really bad at Fenway. He's 0-2 with a 7.36 ERA and 15 appearances. And then you have Eovaldi that just doesn't fare much better at home. He's 4-6 with a 4.33 ERA versus the Rays. I'm looking for an over total in this one. Lots of hits between these two teams here today, Ramon.
All right. Yeah, I think it might be, Tampa Bay does have the motivation. Maybe the Springs is a better pitcher right now. But I don't know if I want to trust him here necessarily as a road favorite. I mean, they didn't have a very good season on the road, quite frankly. I mean, they were a good 10 games under 500 this season, and they're a playoff team. So that doesn't bode well. I don't think moving forward. Boston still finished above 500. Eovaldi, Boston's won 8 of his last 11 starts. So I think at even money for me, I'm going to take Boston in this one against Tampa Bay. All right, one of the big stories, I would say, we're looking for storylines in games that don't have much meaning, and I think we have one here because you have Arizona with Gallen, who's he's an outside borderline Cy Young candidate, and maybe he doesn't have enough work to impress uh, the voters, I think, but he could still have another great outing in Milwaukee. They've, definitely shuffled their rotation a little bit as they've shut down their season, kind of. So maybe Arizona would be the team that people are kind of looking at here in this game. What do you think? Gallen, man, he's just been really great. And unfortunately, because Arizona's season is so poor, maybe hasn't gotten the attention he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Vegas thinks that he has the edge here today. He's been just totally lights out. I mean, and then it's been the opposite story here for the Brewers. I mean, they barely squeaked out that victory yesterday. I expected Woodruff to do better. Of course, that's why I had him in the first five. Just were not able to put up the runs. That's kind of been their story all season long. You're going to put up 8 runs one day and then barely be able to score, one the next. Lauer, he's also been, solid, this season as well. And then I'm looking at the Brewers team that's lost 5 of the last 7 games, not scoring more than 4 runs. I'm going to be looking towards the under here. Under is 8-1 in the Diamondbacks last 9. And the under is 6-0 for the Brewers here in their last 6 home games. So I'm going to go under here again today, Ramon.
Yeah, I wish it was a little, a little higher. I would agree maybe with you there. I think Gallen, the way he's been pitching, the way Milwaukee's not hitting right now, man, Gallen is actually Arizona's won 10 out of his last 13 starts, and of course we know Arizona's had a poor season, so that says quite a lot. 1.26 ERA and a 7.0 record in his last 10 starts, and Lauer gets thrown in there. I think this was going to be the spot for Corbin Burns. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but I think Burns has been shut down for the season. So Lauer gets a start, and yeah, I mean, Lauer, journeyman, if you will. I mean, I don't know, I want to call him a soft tosser, but
yeah.
still 5.82 in his last 4 starts. I'm going to go with Arizona in this one. All right, the Yankees and Cole going up now. I'm showing maybe some books don't have this game up right now, and some do. I don't know what you're seeing on this one, Mindy. Cole, pretty big favorite here in game 2 of the doubleheader. We talked about the other ones, kind of bulked them together, but this one we have a little bit more solid information. So, but still no line yet. Maybe it's pertaining because it is game 2 of the doubleheader. Cole would be a big favorite.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, the only thing that could maybe have this game in flux is if, Judge goes off and maybe, hits 62 right away, then they may shut him down for game 2. Maybe the Yankees are celebrating too much. Yeah, it's one of those. But again, I think Texas is probably, given up here in this series. I really thought they were going to come out and be strong yesterday. I didn't see that from them. So again, I'm going to go ahead and, stick with the Yankees and the Cole. I think they're going to be able to sweep this no matter what. It would probably be one of those if Judge is out of that lineup. I might even maybe look to like an under game or something, but I'm going to go Yankees here in both games today. I think
he's going to do it, Mindy?
Yeah.
You think he's going to do it?
I think he's going to do it in game 1, and then he'll just be relaxed and, last game out.
Would you serve him up a cookie?
I would. Why not? I want my name in the record books too. That's what we talked about before, right? I'm not going to let him hit it. I'm going to give him my best fastball. If he hits it, cool. If I get him, then good for me.
Right. Because I would say, hey, he was going for the record. I struck him out, or I gave up.
Or I gave him my best shot and he took it out of the park.
You said run line, huh?
I'm just going to take,
money line or?
Money line. I'm just going to take him on the money line.
Okay. All right, I'll take the El Paso. I'll take the El Paso on this one since it's game 2, and I think maybe the question also could be Gray. in there. I think Gray is was kind of listed as the starter, but maybe also that could also be another factor is that the Texas pitching might not be solidified as well. So, oh no, Gray. In fact, we talked earlier. Maybe I had incorrect or a pitching change now in that first game, Mindy. If I talked about it correctly, maybe you even spoke about it in the game one because now I'm showing Tyone and Gray
Okay,
in
in
game
game
one.
one. Okay.
So I don't know if that might be something.
That's the one where I like the run line in game one and then the money line in game two. Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't affect your
No,
Gray.
because
A
that's what I
little bit of
had.
an could consider a little bit of an upgrade, maybe going from Howard to Gray. In fact, let me update that and make sure everyone, for the record, sees that Tyone versus Gray now in game one of the doubleheader. So maybe it will end up being in game two, Cole versus Howard. Again, we'll see a lot of question marks. And again, you're right. I mean, if Judge homers, then maybe that becomes a little bit of an issue. So all right, let's get into something maybe a little more reason. We understand where the
Reasonable.
pitchers are going to be. Yeah, Minnesota and the White Sox are going to continue their series with Winder going up against Giolito. Giolito here $1.35, and the total 7.5 under 15.
Yikes to those Twins fading, going 10 of 20 their last 30 games. Maybe it was a little bit of injuries, but the 25-year-old, I think he's Winder, isn't it? Is it Winder? Or I hate saying their names wrong. But he's been kind of shaky, 5.59 ERA in 19 innings of work. Giolito started for the Sox here, 5 ERA, his last 4 starts. To me, this looks like a lot of bats game. I had the total of 7 last night. Looks like it's gone up a little bit. I'll still stay on the over on this one.
We got a consensus play here for sure. I like the over as well. You got Winder with this 6.3 ERA in his last 5 starts, and White Sox right now. Giolito over in 17 of his 22 starts this season. So
That's a huge
that
trend.
does kind of stand out to me, especially a guy like Giolito who's actually pitched pretty well. I mean, of late, 3.45 ERA in his last 3 starts, but a 5 ERA this season. We talked about it not being very Giolito-like. So
Right.
he's definitely had a kind of a weak second half, maybe finding a little bit something here. But let's go over for a consensus play.
Consensus
7.5.
play.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right, we nailed this one, I think, yesterday. Philadelphia and Houston. Pitchers duel again. I don't know. We could see it again, but you got to wonder, Verlander, he's probably going to just go out and get some work, right? But Houston, you talk about the bullpens. I mean, it doesn't get much better than Houston, so they can almost do it with their eyes closed. They're going up against a playoff team, make no mistake, in the Philadelphia Phillies, and Suarez has been, pretty solid. And he's pitching well down the stretch. What do you think, Mindy, with
Yeah.
Houston? Do they cruise control?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like we talked about this yesterday, right? We said this was Philadelphia's one shot at probably getting a win here in this series. Nola came out on fire. He got that.
We nailed that game.
But they're going to have, just a ton of issues here versus Verlander and then Valdez tomorrow. I mean, they're just coming up against 2 of the hottest pitchers out there on the staff. Verlander has 1.8 ERA. I think, Suarez is going to come out, probably have a little bit of a shaky start. I think once Houston gets out on top here, I think there's kind of no looking back. Philadelphia is not one of those teams that comes from behind very often. I look here for the Astros to cover on the run line.
Yeah, Verlander, never ceases to amaze right now. And like I said, why wouldn't you just have him go out there and throw 5 innings and get him out of the game or something. But then, what happens? All of a sudden, the guys, got a no-hitter through 6. He's got to stay out there, right? I mean, I don't know if it even matters to Justin Verlander anymore. He's so awesome. Houston's bullpen's actually slipped of late, but maybe, I don't know. I would put much into that. I think they'll be fine, especially when it comes to getting in the postseason. So, if anything, look, should be Suarez can match Verlander. I would think. If you look at the last 3 starts, they both have a 1.5 ERA in their last 3 starts. Now, Verlander does have a little bit better control, I think, than Ranger Suarez, but interestingly, Verlander under in 20 of his 27 starts this season, but Suarez over in 17 of his 27 starts, which is interesting because Suarez actually a pretty good ERA this season of 3.37 now. Philly bullpen 4 ERA over the last 10 starts. I'm going to go opposite you in a way. I'm going to take Philadelphia on the run line plus a 1.5. So you're laying a 1.5, and I'm taking that 1.5. We're kind of against each other, but
kind of. meet in the weird middle. Yeah.
All right. Now the Angels are going to take on the Athletics. The Angels are going to be favored again on the road here. Minus, I think it's down to about $1.35. Yeah, sure enough, there it is right there, $1.35, and the total I'm now showing at 7.5 under 20.
Yeah, so Lorenzen won last week versus these A's, 4-1 victory. On the flip side there, Irvin took a 4-2 loss in Angel Stadium last week. He's allowed at least 3 runs in 6 straight outings, has that poor 6.97 ERA. He's given up 6 homers and 15 innings of work. Then it even gets worse. He's 0-4 versus the Angels this season. I look for the Angels here to score just a ton of runs. I'm going to actually take them on the run line. I'm going to get plus 125 here on this one.
All right. Hope you're tracking Crush Diamonds plays as well on the Angels in this one there. And I like the under in this game. Look, I know I just moved the line to 7.5 under 20. I don't care. I'll take it under 7 at even money if anybody wants to question that. But I think most people can get 7.5 under 20 out there right now. So I'm going to go under in this one between Oakland and your Angels.
Looking for the Angels redemption. Yes. Big victory by the Halos.
Angels under in 5 of their last 7 games. I think Lorenz and Ben, you mentioned how been pretty decent of late. 3.48 ERA in his last 4 starts. Irvin not so much, but again, I'll go under. I'm going under 7, and you guys can take under 7.5. All right, a couple more out west, and San Francisco going up against San Diego. Prediction: Mania will not be pitching in the rotation in the playoffs.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Got to start here, and boy, I'm really showing the Padres on the move. Actually, I'm showing the Padres now up to possibly $1.50.
Really?
$1.50 here, and the total 7 over 25. So big move on the Padres, big move on the over.
Really? Well, I kind of like a little opposite of that. Giants, they've been pretty hot over the last couple weeks here. They won 11 out of their last 13. I know those games were against teams like the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, but nonetheless, they took care of business. Mania, I think they've been managing him better. Like we talked about, they're putting a little bit more time in between his starts. Maybe he had a little bit of a sore arm, something like that. I mean, I wasn't sure if Rodon was going to pitch today, but if he is, I'm gonna back him in this one. I like the Giants on the money line.
Shame on you. Okay. Well, I don't have a problem with that, actually. In fact, I think the move is right. I think, look what happened in the bullpens blew up yesterday, and Mania, he's just in there to get this start. He'll be working out of the bullpen in the postseason if he gets in at all. And I like the over. I'm paying a big maximum price here now at 7 over 25, but I'm willing to do it. I think we will see the runs coming probably on the back end, just like it did yesterday. Like I said, they hope it was 0-0 in the 8th inning, and the game went well over. And Crush Diamond putting that prediction in every day for me. Crush Diamond will be putting his World Series prediction in here until.
Right. I think that would be like the best World Series. I just want to put that out there. Like, I hope that comes true.
Mariners.
I would love that World Series.
The Mariners came into the American League in 1977, and they'll be looking for their first title. All right. One more game, and it's a monster favorite with the Dodgers and Urias. We talked about Urias' chances for the Cy Young Award. Talk about, again, it's easy to say the Dodgers maybe don't have the motivation here. They wrapped up everything, but they do. Everybody knows. I think the Dodgers do have motivation to win every game at this point, and they could do it probably without even their best players against a team like Colorado. Dodgers, every game they win is just another mark towards one of the best seasons in the history of the game. So why wouldn't they win here? Now, I don't know, want to lay 350, but I don't know.
Well, also, when a guy named Feltner has a 6.66 ERA in September, you stay away. Arias, I think he should be able to limit the Rockies. Just go on the run line with the Dodgers. I feel like there's not much to ever say about this matchup.
Okay, I'll lay 2.5 maybe here. Let me see what I can do. Like I said, I think the Dodgers have enough motivation to blow out the Rockies one more time, and I'll take the Dodgers, and I will lay the runs here. I'll lay 2.5 runs today with the Dodgers. You never see me do that, but you know what? There's 2 days left in the season. I'm going to do it.
We're changing things up, Ramon. Changing it up. No time like the present.
That's our look at Major League Baseball. Hope we did a decent enough job for you on some of those lines. I know there'll be some changes going on throughout the day, but that's to give you a little start on your handicapping. Hey, really the sharpest players. We make fun of doubleheaders on shows like this and previews like this, but actually some of the sharpest moves are made in those doubleheaders, waiting till the lineups come out and seeing exactly and trying to get in before that line moves. So it's nothing to be kind of just shunning because it's a doubleheader. Those are actually the games you kind of want to attack.
Well, those are the ones you usually recap in the afternoon shows and such too.
Yeah, and you're not going to get a lot of plays, I would think, from pick sellers, if you will, on the internet because of the nature of the game. We're working on some technology that's going to allow us to do that here and get our plays to you. For people who are interested in receiving actionable information on short notice to give you absolutely the best possible positions on some of those games. And in situations like this with these double headers, the best way to attack is to be ready after the first game's over, try to get the lineup, and then go forward with that. So let's get into college football. I mean, we've got a lot of games to cover.
We're doing it all the way till those early morning Saturday games.
Right. And we're going to start, however, with tomorrow's game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right.
This one with
Nighter.
Yeah, it was originally scheduled for last week due to the hurricane. They had moved it to Sunday. Now they've moved it to Wednesday, and we'll talk about the 4 Friday games, and then the first, I think it's 10 games on Saturday, the noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific time starts. So let's get into it with this one. You do have SMU against UCF. In this one, and I'm showing right now. In fact, I'm showing this line now is Mindy. I left it up there from last, that we were going to preview the game last week. So right now, I'm showing Central Florida -3 and the total 65.
Yeah, so SMU, they rank 109th in rushing yards allowed per game. UCF has the 6th ranked running game average, over
Wow.
274 yards per game.
Oh,
I think they're just going to be able to, kind of control the game here with the run. They also rank, or they have a 51.1% percentage and third down efficiency. I think they're able to move the ball here. I think they're going to run it. I think it's going to be good methodically. I know SMU can pass, and they have a decent defense here as well, but I'm still going to go with the home team here. I'm going to lay the -3 with Central
no,
Florida.
boy, I'm with you. I mean, I don't need to go. I don't look. I could just, one of the things was here. We want to dissect it as much as possible. But God, Minnie, that's an incredible. I mean, they should run all over SMU and chew up clock like nobody's business in this game. And you have a massive total like this. Uh, Look, I'm going to agree with you because I want to have a consensus play with Central Florida. But I mean, to me, it just seems like that game should end up in the 50s max. SMU's gone under in 4 straight road games. Home teams dominated this series overall against the spread. The home teams 8-0-1 in the last 9 meetings. So that's a long-term trend, but still, just goes to show you. And UCF under in 4 straight off of a win. So like maybe the under here too. But let's go a consensus play. UCF tomorrow. Anytime you can run, I like that. Run on the clock, massive numbers. I mean, talking about where UCF sits in their rushing offense comparatively to that SMU rushing defense. That one seems kind of obvious. All right, let's do it.
You
Consensus
got
play.
it. Consensus play.
All right, Mindy, we've got you here. This is I'll let you take center stage. I won't add much to this one. Nebraska on the road, a 3-point favorite. Oh my God. The total's down to 48.5, by the way. I'm sorry I got a few stale numbers up here.
That's all right, because it was at what? Wasn't it at like 51, like just earlier today or yesterday?
Yeah, but I'm
Jeez.
showing a move here.
I see that. Is that one of those I hear the major line movement?
I'm just looking at one of the major offshore sports books
Yeah.
and all the other books are kind of falling into line here. So yeah, to me, this thing's moved this morning.
Yeah. So, Nebraska, 1-5, against the spread in their last 6 games. They did have, a nice win over Indiana. Nebraska, they're still giving up 32 points a game here. I don't know if Rutgers is going to be able to take advantage of this, of this Nebraska team here or not, only because Rutgers is in the bottom 5 in scoring efficiency this year. So they just can't really do much here on offense. So I'm not really looking for Rutgers to put up too much here against Nebraska. I think that's why the books are trending as they are. I'm going to go under that total. I had it under 51.
Okay.
Still think there might be maybe enough in there to go, under the 48.5. It's still getting a little bit scary there, but
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I sprung that on you. And I mean,
well, no, I mean, that's like the reason why we do this show, right? We get the best line movements early in the day. We get to talk about it. And it's when you can decide to make these plays early when you got till Friday to make up your mind. I mean, this is a show for us to give you the information and for you guys out there to do your due diligence on our free plays. Because if you want our best of the best, you can go over and pick up our personal picks. But with these, freebies, like I said, we're giving you the information. You do your due diligence when you make your picks. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here on this show.
look, Nebraska's, they're the team that's taken the action on the side. I mean, they were, closer to a slightly smaller favorite. Now they're laying a field goal on the road. I don't trust them, but Rutgers is 1-6 against the spread their last 7 at home. So
Right.
let's go under. Let's make a consensus play out of this. I think the move is legit this morning. Definitely came in. Saw it got hit at about now about 2 hours ago, and they got hit again about a half an hour ago to the under. So I think it's a legitimate move, and I want to go get on that with you. Let's go under the 48.5 in that game.
And hopefully we didn't lose too much on that. What did that open at, Ramon? Do you know?
51.5
It was
is the
51.
highest that I saw.
Okay.
That was just, in fact, that was within the last 32 hours or so.
Okay.
So this one is on the move lower, and I think you gave every reason to, as to why that may indeed end up being the case. We could see both teams just scoring in the low 20s here. Let's go ahead and get under and make it a consensus play.
Consensus play.
Continuing on Friday, this will be Houston and Memphis. And Memphis is a 3-point favorite, and the total 57. There are some 57.5s as well.
Yeah, so Memphis is coming off of that 21-point win versus Temple. Houston lost by 3 to the Green Wave, Tulane. You know what? In their like 800th overtime, Memphis is 4-1, scoring 34 points a game here, giving up only 26 points per game here in this one too. Houston, on the other hand, they're still giving up 34 points a game.
Well, that's easy for me to figure out. They'll score 34.
Right. 34 and 34. I think that explains why they've lost 3 out of their last 4 pretty much. Memphis, they've been pretty good on defense. They're holding teams to, basically 7 games or less first downs in the last 3-4 games they've played here thus far. I'm still looking for Memphis to kind of stay hot here. I'm going to take them -3.
I like Memphis too. I like the over. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I mean, look, Memphis. Memphis averages 34, and Houston allows 34. Mindy,
That's 34,
and they're favored by 3 points. That's 65. That's 65 points if that comes true. Memphis is 6-1 against the spread. Their last 7 in this series. Let's go consensus then, because look,
let's go consensus.
A good series for Memphis. Maybe I'll tip my hand there. Maybe a premium comes on the over because Houston's 4-1 of the over their last 5, and the last 5 meetings.
I like to play in every single overtime game that occurs in the NCAA this year.
Oh, good point. Let's go ahead and make another consensus play. Wow. Look, also. I mentioned Memphis 6-1 in the series, including 4-1 to the over here in the series. So, mention that 34. That seems kind of, I don't know, it just kind of plays out. That doesn't seem out of the question to have, 35 to 28 or something like that, and they get the win and it goes over. So let's go consensus. So consensus Memphis.
Memphis.
It almost rhymes.
It was really close. We need a couple more syllables in those.
Have we gone all consensus so far in college football? Look out.
Perhaps Look out. There's 3 games and 3 consensus. Perhaps it might have occurred.
There's value there. There's value in our packages. Colorado State and Nevada. Nevada, 3.5-point favorite here on Friday night. Total 44.
Ouch. These teams are not very good, Ramon. Colorado State 271st in offensive scoring, only 10 points per game, and just not good. I mean, I wish I could say something good about them, but I can't really find anything. And then they're ranked 261st in points against, so they're giving up 41, only scoring 10. A 30-point differential. Oh man, they're just so one-dimensional, only able to run, basically only able to run. I don't know. I just think Nevada here has a big edge in this one. I like them at the -3.5.
I don't mind that, but the hook bothers me a little bit. Nevada's covered 4 straight meetings in the series. We know CSU 0-4 straight up and against the spread right now, but here's the thing. Colorado, they've gone 0-4 to the under, so I think everybody's gonna be quick to look at that. But once they get into conference, things kind of even out a little bit. And actually, Colorado State's gone 4 straight to the over in conference.
Nice.
Nevada's gone over in their last 4 at home, and Nevada's gone over in 7 of their last 8, dating back to last season off a straight up loss. The total is coming down. I think that gives me a little bit of value there. I'm going to end up going over in this one. And maybe you wait. Maybe you want to wait on this because it opened 46.5, now 44.5. Maybe it'll continue to go under just a little bit more. I'm going to go over in this one.
That's a good stats there, Ramon. I like it. Look forward to over in the conference.
UNLV and San Jose State. What San Jose State going to be in the college football playoff or something, going up against UNLV as 6.5-point favorite? What's going on here? I don't know if I trust this at all, but the total's 54.
Yeah, I don't trust it at all. Not one bit, Ramon.
The moves on San Jose State. It's gone up from like 4.5.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That to me, that's going the opposite way of where I'm looking at this one. UNLV, they're 7-2-1 against the spread their last 10 road games, 4-1 against the spread their last 5 overall. They averaged 11 more offensive points here than San Jose State. They gained 50 more yards on total offense. UNLV's running back, Robbins, averaging 101 yards rushing per game. It has 8 touchdowns this season. If you look at the Mountain West, UNLV is top in their conference for offensive and defensive efficiencies, both. I just think UNLV is going to be all over this one. Give me as many points as possible. I'll take UNLV, Ramon.
Yeah, it's probably a TARP, but that's okay. I like UNLV too. I think they can win the game. Why wouldn't they? I mean, they have a top 30 rushing team statistically, and San Jose State's near the bottom of the country in rushing defense. So UNLV 4-1 against the spread. They're 5-1 against the spread off a straight up win dating back, and also 4-1 to the over against teams that look. San Jose above 500. San Jose State, they've had a surprising start, no doubt about it.
Right.
And Sebastian and I are going to be on the UNLV money line. It might be one of those games where we're being totally fooled. But
I don't know where. So
let's take UNLV in this one.
So we're going to
no
go
doubt about it.
Again?
I think they'll run all over San Jose State. It's just the way I feel. I
know.
Maybe San Jose State will get points. I mean, it's going to be. I think certainly a close game. I would think. I don't think they can cover I don't trust San Jose State to cover a touchdown. There's a program that almost shut down a couple years back, and so
go UNLV.
Yeah, the moves on San Jose State, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the side of the wise guys.
Right.
And usually I'm on that.
Because San Jose State they're ranked nationally now, right? Is that the deal? They're like 23rd, so that could be it, maybe.
Oh God.
I think that's what it is.
Who's voting for this mess?
I don't know.
That's a joke.
I thought that was the case. Don't quote me.
Let's move to Saturday now. Purdue and Maryland. We'll go with the Midwest Premier Sports Handicapper with us to talk about. We've got several Big Teners here coming up as we talk about here. And Maryland, a 3-point favorite now at home. Total 58.5. That's down from 61.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these teams, they're pretty closely matched at this point in the season. It's one of those. Purdue scores 35 points a game. Maryland scores 32 points a game, both giving up around 21 points a game. Maryland barely ekes out in the overall here yardage wise. I think Maryland has played some of their best ball, like versus Michigan State, but I'm not sure how much Michigan State here has, really proven themselves this year. Maryland's been able to really hold on to the ball, not turning it over. But you have this Purdue team that they only give up maybe 18 first downs a game. I'm looking at Purdue here and the plus points.
All right. Yeah, well, Maryland's covered 4 straight. Purdue has a great passing offense statistically, certainly about top 30, I'd say, in the country, and going up against a bad pass defense of Maryland. We know Maryland, I think we perceive them as a kind of an offensive team, uh, with Tagovailoa in there, but Purdue 6-0 to the over off a spread win, and the total's dipping down. I know that might be sharp action on the total to the under, but again, I think Purdue's going to be able to pass. I think Maryland's going to, have a good offense in this game as well. Both teams probably can get into the 30s. Maybe one of them can even sneak up in there and get to 40. It would be suggestions that it would be Maryland as the favorite, but I kind of agree with you on the side. But for me, I'm going to, with this total dropping down, I think there's a little value for me on the over, and I'm going to go over 50. I'll go over 59 as it says there on screen. I know you could go out there and find 58 and a half, but I like to challenge myself. Never catch me shaving points on the show. All right, Louisville and Virginia should be a good one. If it was a basketball game, still pretty decent as a football game right now. Louisville on the favor. This one's gone down. Look at this. Louisville 3.5 point favorite. They opened as high as 5. So it looks like the move's on Virginia. Total is down to 51 from an opener of 52 or so.
Yeah, I want to say not so fast on that move to Virginia. I think Cunningham, he's just going to take over this game here. Both of these teams give up about 23 points a game here. But Virginia, they're only able to score, 15, 16 points a game. And Cunningham alone averages over 100 yards himself, averaging over 280 yards of total offense here a game. I like Louisville. I haven't seen much out of Virginia. I think they've played better in their last couple of games. We talk about, Virginia Tech and their offensive efficiencies just not being able to do much this year. Virginia kind of surprised me last time out, but I'm still going to take Louisville here. Louisville, I'm sorry. My Midwestern pronunciation is terrible. I apologize.
I'm going to take the under in this one. 6 straight meetings in this series have gone under. The move is on the under. I've got it graded out about 47 points. So for me, I'll end up going with the under here just to back up some of what you said. I mean, Louisville 5-1 against the spread their last 6 on the road against sub 500 teams. UVA 0-4 against the spread their last 4 games at home. Now Louisville has had some trouble here, failed the last 4 meetings at UVA over the years. So tough. You're getting the best of the line, though. I don't know if I want to lay points on the road. I do agree with you at this point. And if I play the side, I'm probably going to be on Louisville. Maybe it'll even go down a little bit more. I don't know. With that hook there, not sure how much more it can go down. But I'll go under in Louisville and Virginia. All right, let's get back with the Midwest Premier Sports Handicapper in the Big Ten. Michigan and Indiana. Well, what can you say? Could always talk about, how Michigan, how they're doing. They're doing pretty well, I'd say, at this point. Can they keep this up? They are laying 3 touchdowns here at IU.
Yeah, I think they're still going to be able to keep it up here. Michigan, they're 4-0 against the spread. Their last 4 road games, 14-5 against the spread in their last 19 overall. Then you have Indiana, 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 home games, 3-15 against the spread in their last 18 games here overall. Michigan has a top 3 offense this season, averaging well over 45 points here a game. I know, I don't really think of Indiana too much offensively. I mean, I think they're decent. Again, I'm not real fond of their coaching staff. They gave up 35 points to Nebraska. That's not very sharp at all on offense. I think Michigan here, they're just going to control both sides of the ball. I'm going to take Michigan and lay the points here in this one.
They should roll. I mean, we're not getting the best of the line at all. It opened 17.5 way back when, but at 21.5 now. But they should. I mean, I don't know. They probably should win by by 30, Mindy, I would think in this one. IU 1-4 against the spread so far. Michigan's covered 4 straight on the road dating back. And the most interesting one for me is IU 1-11 against the spread off of a spread loss. So,
Really? So they just layer the losses there, don't they?
yeah, IU 9-1 to the over against teams above 500. Boy, Michigan should go off against this bad IU defense if you think about it. I mean, Michigan, you know, top 15 defense as well, and the IU has a bad offense. Man, it just seems like Michigan should crush these guys and put up a big number on them. I mean, let's go with consensus. Let's lay it. Let's lay the big points with Michigan. I don't mind. I mean,
I don't mind
I
either.
guess to be fair, I'll call it 4 touchdowns. I'll call it Michigan by 4 touchdowns. That should be plenty for a premium selection. We can agree on it and take Michigan by 4 touchdowns. Yeah, we're seeing some goofy results sometimes with some of these big road favorites. You know, I don't know. People are downgrading. They're practically tossing Georgia out the window. But we'll see. I'll take my chances with Michigan. Like I said, they like to roll it up when they're dominating.
That's right.
Okay, but 2 of my favorite teams, Mindy, Buffalo and Bowling Green. Buffalo on the road here. The move's on Buffalo. There's no doubt about it. Bowling Green opened up the slight favorite. Buffalo's favored now. Total 54.5.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo might look like a little bit of the old Buffalo team that just likes to run for 300 yards a game. Then you have Bowling Green. They're allowing 41 points on defense a game here. And Buffalo's not much better on the defensive side. They've been playing in these, high-scoring games. They allow 31 points a game here. I mean, the last 4 or 5 between these two have gone over the total. Overs 5-0 in Bowling Green's last 5 games overall. Should be a high score, a wild one. Take the over.
All right, Mindy says go over. I don't disagree with that. I mean, 5 in a row over for my Bowling Green team. The Buffalo's covered 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two. I think they're back in familiar territory here. As much as I've liked Bowling Green this year, I have to respect this move. That looks like a professional move to me. I let the handicappers sometimes dictate to me what's going to happen necessarily. I'd like to see more from Buffalo. I think people are, maybe expectations are always higher than they should be at this point for Buffalo. But in this situation, I think Buffalo can certainly win this game and cover 2 points. I'm going to take Buffalo as my free play here on the show. Take Buffalo to win this one by probably a touchdown. All right, Mindy, we've got a blockbuster here. TCU on the road. They're now laying 7. Is that right? Maybe 7 with some juice at some books. Total 68, no matter what, should be a great game. I think everyone's going to be interested in watching this one.
Oh, Kansas. It's just hard for me to see Kansas anything other than Kansas for football. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, TCU just totally outplayed Oklahoma last week. Putting up 700 yards of total offense. I mean, it was a wild one. But Kansas, they did manage a win. It wasn't, pretty here. Only 213 yards of total offense. And it's one of those things too that, Kansas was playing against an Iowa State team that is in like the top 15 of defensive efficiencies. I mean, Iowa State is a really, really good defensive team. I don't know if it's one of those that this Kansas team is going to be able to stop TCU. I just haven't seen that. I mean, if I take TCU versus Iowa State, I think I'm going to take TCU every time. Iowa State, I think we had them in that game versus Kansas. If it wasn't for some missed field goals, they would have won that. TCU is first in the Big 12 in scoring efficiency as well. I'm going to take TCU in this one, laying the 7.
Well, we can't always agree, and I'm going to take Kansas. I don't have very great excuses other than that. I mean, look, TCU, they've got top
That'd be a
offense.
good
I
one.
would. They got a great offense, and for all this success, Kansas's defense is pretty subpar, especially when it comes to passing. And TCU does pass the ball very well. But interesting to note, this has always been kind of a tough spot for TCU. Now they were always big time favorites when they go into Kansas, but they've covered only one of 5 meetings here over the last decade, and just 3 of the last 10 against KU. So maybe because they've overlooked them or whatnot. I mean, but we know that both KU's covering spreads. Both these teams are covering spreads. I mean, they're 9-0 combined against the spread, but Kansas right now is on a roll covering the spread, right? Dating back to last year, but everybody's talking about this year, but they were covering spreads at the end of the season too. So we're going to just go heads up here. I'll
No
take 7
problem.
points.
It'll be a fun one
Maybe
to watch, that's for sure.
Maybe I'll get more points. I have to take 7 now, but I would say if you want TCU, you better lay the points today. And if you want Kansas, maybe you can go ahead and wait. It looks like from the spread going from 5.5 to 7, and people aren't going to believe. I don't think still kind of in Kansas, and
Because you're like me, it's Kansas.
well, again, like I said, I mean TCU
No,
they have a great passing offense.
Kansas might be a sneaky good play here in this one. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Defensively, I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Measuring stick games. I mean,
Yeah,
Kansas can see exactly where they stand.
That's right.
All right, one of the stories of the weekend: the Missouri Tigers going to be going on the road. They're going to be getting 10.5 from Florida, but I still think people talking about the performance that Missouri had in that Georgia game, and now they're going up against another strong SEC team, not Georgia strong, but Florida double digits here, total 54.5.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a real ugly game there between, Missouri and Georgia. What are you going to say? It's sometimes, you play to your competition, or maybe, Missouri has a little bit left in their tank, right? But for Missouri, the under is 4-0, their last 4 conference games. The quarterbacks have only combined for 9 touchdowns between these two teams this season. Missouri's third down efficiency is sitting at 33%. These are one of those games that, I mean, I see this like maybe a 24-14 game. I think it's going to stay well below the 54.5 here today. I'm going to take the under.
Well, if it's going to be an under, that's going to help Missouri. I would think, especially if they're getting double digits. I already like Missouri in the game to cover, and I think they can stay in there with Florida. I was impressed with the way they performed against Georgia, actually. I think maybe we can consider them a little bit underrated at this point. I'm going to take Missouri as my free pick. Missouri, Florida, 1-5 against the spread off of a straight up win. So give me Missouri plus the 10 and a hook. Eastern Michigan at Western Michigan. Western Michigan is a 4-point favorite. Let me see, 5-point favorite now. 5-point favorite, and the total is 57.5.
The rivalry game, Ramon, where the home team has won 6 of the last 9 meetings. Western Michigan allows 28 points per game. Eastern Michigan, 33. These teams are kind of basically below average offenses here. But I think, Western Michigan gets the edge for being at home team, have a little bit better defense. I'm going to take Western Michigan to cover the 5.
Yeah, I mean, Western Michigan had that biggest scoring output last game out, but they are 1-6 to the under after scoring 40 points. So I think maybe people are, kind of expecting. You see the total there approaching, 57.5 now, and that's down from 59. I think that's been the kind of a sharper move. So I'm going to go under in this one. I don't think we'll see quite the same offensive output for Western Michigan against Eastern Michigan. We know Eastern Michigan's played some formidable competition. So I will go under in the MAC game on Saturday. All right, let's get into some hot SEC action here with Tennessee at LSU. Tennessee's a road favorite here. Could you imagine this being the case But my, how the times have changed. Tennessee, a 2.5-point favorite. The move's on LSU. Tennessee opened a 3.5-point favorite, and the total has gone way up. I mean, this thing opened like 59.5. Now we're up to 64.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, they've won 4 of their last 6 road games. You got Hendon Hooker. He's completing 72% of his passes, 8 touchdowns. Big key here is no interceptions. Tennessee's also ranked 3rd in points scored, 48.5 points a game. And that's why you probably see that total going where it's going, almost averaging 600 yards of offense. I'm going to take Tennessee here and look for them to roll at LSU.
Look for them to roll.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Yeah, to roll by a touchdown maybe or
Yeah,
or more.
sure.
Wow. Okay, I get it. I think the move's too high. I don't like this total going way up. I think maybe you want to hang out and wait to see if it goes even higher. I mean, that's already a 5-point move. I'm sure it's sharp action at this point because it's an early move in the week. So I get it. But LSU's 1-4 to the under, right, so far. And LSU's also 1-5 to the under their last 6 in conference. The series has gone under in I believe 4 straight, or maybe one was a push. I'm not sure. So when these two teams get together, it's usually been a little bit more defensive. I'm going to go. I'll have to take it today. I'll go under 64 as my free play here on the show. All right, talk about rivalries. Well, let's talk about this one. Texas 6.5-point favorite in the big showdown. Total 66. That's up from 62.5. Wow.
Yeah, that's because you have a Texas team that ranks 14th nationally in scoring efficiency and an Oklahoma team that ranks 20th in scoring efficiency in the nation. Both of these teams like to go fast, score a lot of points. Oklahoma scores 37 a game, Texas 36. Oklahoma's defense also not been great, giving up tons of points as well. 55 to TCU, 41 to Kansas State. I'm still looking at the over total. I had it over 65.5. So I'll take it over 66.
Sounds like it's going to be a great game. I mean, I don't know. Texas is a touchdown favorite. That seems reasonable. They've covered 5 of their last 6 games, but just Oklahoma should be able to put something up, I would think, right? I mean, otherwise you're going to be looking at a game that's going to be 37-30 or so, which I don't know. That seems reasonable, but man, it just seems like that leaves the back door open in this great rivalry game. It's a neutral site. I'm going to take the points. Should be an exciting game as always. Arkansas and Mississippi State. We'll wrap it up here for Saturday and more SEC action. Mississippi State's gotten all the attention from early bettors so far. This one was as low as 3 in early season betting. Now Mississippi State, with their great situation, the way things are clicking for them right now, are up to an 8-point favorite.
Total. Can I go back in time? Can I go back in time a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Arkansas is coming off of that, unfortunate loss there to Alabama. Kept it close for a while. Mississippi State pretty much took it to Texas A&M. I like Texas A&M in that game. Mississippi State's defense, I mean, they just looked good. I mean, they're just causing lots of turnovers here. Also kept the Aggies to 2 of 9 on 3rd down, but I don't know if that's more of a underwhelming A&M team this year also. But Mississippi State, they've been putting up the points here on offense, 38 points a game, only giving up 21. Arkansas, not too bad either, 32 points a game defensively, giving up and only scoring 30. I just think Mississippi State here is still just going to hold the advantage. I think they're going to play better ball, no turnovers, being able to methodically move this ball down the line. I think I'm going to go with the home team, Mississippi State here, -8.
Yeah, I'm worried about, laying more than one score. They
I
should
agree.
beat them handily. I mean, Mississippi State's passing offense is totally legit, and Arkansas pass defense has been kind of their weak point. So that's what bothers me a little bit. But Mississippi State, you're right, they're throwing in the defense as well. Mississippi State is 6 of their last 7 have gone under when playing teams above 500. Uh, you would think because of their great passing offense that they are, high flying, and that look at the total has gone kind of up here, showing 61 right now,
I
and
have like
maybe
62 and a half.
Okay, so yeah, that looks a little high to me, even in this situation. So you going Mississippi State,
Yeah.
and I will go on the under. All right, that's a look at college football for Wednesday, Friday, and the beginning of Saturday. So hopefully everybody got lots of notes in on that one. That'll do it for us on the morning. See, we come in with a little bit more action here. NBA preseason. I've got some plays, Mindy. Just probably not a lot of analysis here, but just want to make sure that we're covering all the sports here at Tony's Picks. Let you know what's going on. There is a 4-game NBA card in the preseason, and I've got Detroit and the Knicks to go under 213. Other games today include Minnesota. Detroit at the Knicks. Knicks are a 4-point favorite, total 213. Minnesota and Miami. Miami a 5.5-point favorite, total 213.5. Chicago 1.5-point favorite against New Orleans, total 217.5. And my other play here, Portland is a 4-point favorite. I'm saying go under 213. So
what was your middle play there with Chicago?
Just what you see right there on the screen, Mindy. Under in Detroit and the Knicks, under in Utah and Portland. The other ones I was just reading the line off.
Oh, Chicago, you were just reading the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Over in the NHL, there is, I believe, a 6-game card. I'll check maybe some way they've been putting these games up, but they're getting a little more steady right now. Ottawa, $1.25 at Montreal, total 6.5. Don't hold me if these lines. There have been some serious line moves in hockey that by the time I put these up about 90 minutes ago to 2 hours ago, there could have been a 50-cent change on some of these games. I'll tell you. One of my picks today will be Buffalo plus 105 at home against Carolina. That is a play here on the show. Other games include Islanders minus 15 against Philadelphia, total 5.5. My other play here, St. Louis minus $1.50 against Minnesota, total 6.5. Play is on St. Louis. The LA Kings are going to be on the road against Anaheim. Anaheim minus $1.30, no total. Vegas minus 250 at home against Arizona, no total. 2 plays for you there. Like I said, check out Paul Lagaretos. He's got a bunch of plays in today's Champions League. My play is on Atletico Madrid on the road against Club Brugge. And I'm taking Madrid minus 105 on the road in today's Champions League action. All right, Mindy, don't forget, tell everyone to head on over to our website, tonyspicks.com, where you get our premium plays each and every day. You coming with a baseball package today?
I will be having a baseball package today. Didn't get that up here before the show because, again, I like to play some of those first fives. Those lines don't come out on our site until the morning time. But today we had a couple consensus plays in baseball. Guardians on the money line, Twins, White Sox over. So you'll be able to catch a guaranteed best bet out there from the morning steam. And then also for college football, we'll be putting these up for later. Our consensus plays were Central Florida for Wednesday's game. Then Friday, Nebraska under 48. And then the Saturdays, Memphis -3, UNLV plus 6.5. And Michigan minus 21.5. So you will find those guaranteed packages from us. And the guarantee means if we lose, we don't get paid. And also you get your credits.
What?
But that's how it works. I mean, because we don't want to put out, plays just to make plays, just to have people buy packages. That is not our goal. Our goal is to have our subscribers win. We do the hard work, so you don't have to. That is the goal. That is our strategy here. Again, to give you information, to do your due diligence, to find consensus in order to beat Vegas every day.
And take a look, and there you saw what we had with some of our best plays there on the screen. Our best picks. Our handicappers have their best bets up there today. Like Mindy said, we do the hard work, so you don't have to. Reminds me of I feel like a scrubbing bubble. If anybody has a throwback there, also check out our $15 plays. Collins has a best bet in Major League Baseball, and 3-packs, the most popular on our site, where you get 3 plays for one low price there. So, all right, better check with Tony on that one. Look at Collins there; he's got a 5-pack under the 3-pack. So, Tony, if you're watching, we'll get that worked out on the back end as well. All right, Mindy, great show. As always, hope that wasn't too many picks for our fans out there. Hopefully they have enough. I know they like to, watch everything and take a look right there at the bottom. Remember, use the promo code TonyT at checkout as often as you'd like. Those prices on the website don't even matter because you're going to use the promo code TonyT at checkout every time, save 20%. So that's a given. You're going to do that. All right, great job, Mindy. Get you back here tomorrow. We'll look at more college football. The last day of the Major League season will make
we almost made it.
Yeah, we'll make you make some picks on the last day of the season. Hopefully, we can pick up some winners tonight and go in with some confidence. All right, for Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.